Okay, hello everyone and welcome. So last month we were advised that we were learning how to love life regardless of the energies around us and learning how to create that state so that we could just fall in love whenever we wanted to. And I gave you some visualizations to help you with that. This month we are invited to become quantum success manifestors, to vision life as glorious. And last month we had victorious, and this month we got glorious, which I think shows we're heading in a better direction, even if it doesn't look that way externally yet. But as we know, we always have to do the work, to do the healing, to do our shadow work, and that helps us integrate and embody these energies. So if you're feeling burnt out or stuck, or a lack of fulfillment or purpose, maybe, or maybe just overwhelmed, but you're showing up anyway just to keep pushing forward, then this is the show for you. Because you need to know you're not broken. You're just in the middle of a living death. It's part of that dark night of the personality rather than the soul, during one of the most transformative times of evolution on the planet right now. So each month, I share these energetic roadmaps as a way for us to learn what we need to learn to become quantum humans. So it's guidance to help you step out from the shadows and confusion into your full light. So let me just check everybody's with us. Hey, cool. So if you guys are on YouTube, if you could give me a hello there, just to make sure we are actually live. It says we are, but it'd just be good to see it because I'm not seeing it my end. It's like, really? Where are you all gone? Let me try again. No. I must admit, I had a bit of a panic attack before now, which I meant the energies were kind of coming in differently, and I thought this might give me some tech issues tonight. But can somebody in on the Zoom, can any of you guys see me on YouTube? It's not showing me anywhere. So you can see me. Okay, so I'm here. I can't see the comments yet, but do drop a comment on YouTube so that I can focus a bit more in a moment when I ask you the questions. I'll come back and check where you all are. Meanwhile, let's unleash your full potential to help you create innovative, impactful change in a way that is confident for you so that you can make changes in your corner of the universe. Despite the blocks, do you believe that you're on a transformational journey? Can you feel that energy of being on a transformational journey? And this journey is one of self-realization of who you are and what you're here to do. So how does that feel? Do you feel like a soul calling you to be more? And if yes, then you're ready to take this journey with us today, even if tech isn't ready to be with us anyway. So I'm just noticing I can't see the comments over there either. So cool. Let me just readjust this a little bit a minute. Right, I can see the comments now. So you've just written a comment on YouTube as well. Okay, I'll keep checking back in a moment, but it's just not wanting to show me. And I thought I'd use my phone because the screens were causing me grief last time. So hopefully it will pop up in a moment. Right, so if you've got this soul calling, you're in the right place. So I just want you to affirm now if you're ready to take this journey today by just saying yes to the energies that I'm going to be sharing. Because I like to think of these monthly sessions as kind of mini workshops. And this is how you can co-create with me, is by just through intention for the next hour. Grab your journal, grab your oracle cards. I always forget to tell you guys to get your oracle cards because each of these episodes is full of weaving of words and frequencies, no matter if you're watching this live or if you're watching this as a replay. Just choose now to say yes, that you wish to invite these frequencies I'm sharing today into your body by intention. Just intend that you're willing to let go of any of the negative energies I speak about today, any of the contracts and vows we're going to be talking about. and say yes to being recalibrated. And you don't need to fully understand what I'm talking about. Just intend it. Your God instinct within you knows. Because whilst I can show you the energetic doorways, it's really up to you to choose whether you want to walk through them and explore them. So this is your quest to discover who you are and what you're here to do. I'm only the guide offering you the clues. It's your responsibility to do this work and to make the changes in your life. So if we all got our cards and our journals handy? Yes, we're ready? Still not seeing you guys on Zoom. How curious. Let me see if I exit out of that and try again. Let's see. So I'm going to be sharing October's energy with you and what skills you will need, the outlook we hope to get by the end of October. And also I'll be showing you what challenge we've got this month and what strengths, next steps, and advice that we have for you to be able to navigate the energies this month. So this is just a taster of what I do in the membership. So if you need any support or accountability on your journey, then do get in touch to see if my membership is the right thing for you. And I'm going to try one more time. Okay, so much for technology this month. So how are you all feeling? Take a nice couple of deep breaths and get yourself into your body. Just allow yourself to be present for this next hour with me. Now, every month, as well as doing the live, I have a group on Zoom that I talk to afterwards. And if you want to come and get to know us or talk more to me individually, then it's a great time to send me a message and I'll send you a Zoom link for next month, I guess. And the email is whitestarsoulguidance@gmail.com. So send me an email there and I'll send you a Zoom link to join the live at the end of next month. So as we're taking these nice deep breaths and coming into our body, we're going to think about the first quantum question for the night. So get your journals ready. So tonight's theme is all about life is glorious. And I know that might sound a bit like last month we said, you know, sometimes we have to prepare the energy of something before it can become our truth. So think of this as the goal is for us to cultivate the feeling that life is glorious and lay the pathway to make this the truth by the end of the month. So the rest of it is, I now live in limitless joy, love, and light. All is well in my world. So I now live in limitless love and light and joy. All is well in my world. So just let that resonate for the moment. So normally I'd ask you now to say hello in the YouTube comments, but I'm going to have to work on that a little bit more. But please do hit subscribe, do hit the like button if you enjoy what we're doing, and do hit the notification bell so you get notified when I load any videos up, because it's really hard these days on social media to get information shared on a wider scale. And I think what I have to offer is really important. So I think right now it's getting more and more critical that we get help to go through this living death, because it can either break us or make us right now. So I'm also trying to build a community of like-minded people. So again, we don't need to do this alone anymore. We have probably all felt like our paths are unique and that we need to do it in our unique way. That's true. But there are now communities that can cater for that in a way that we can never do it before. The insights that are coming in are helping us be unique, but collaborative at the same time. So there's a lot of power in community right now, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. So I felt that energy kind of really strongly for this equinox in particular. So the question for tonight, if you guys have got your pens ready, is, are you feeling this, that life can be glorious? So this is your first set of questions, your quantum questions. So this is where we try to bypass the logical mind and dive straight into what your soul is trying to share, because that's very much the Pisces energy, and I'll speak about that in a moment. But we want you to just to think of the first number that comes into your head for each of these questions as a number from 1 to 100. So the first one, and you can put number 1 down to next to the numbers. I thought if I give you labels, you will know what your answers are. So number 1, life is glorious, 1 to 100. Number 2, I now live in limitless love, light, and joy. That's question 2. I'm just reading the answers on Zoom coming in. I can at least see those. The number 3 is all is well in my world, 1 to 100. And I found the live, yay! Oops, oh, you can hear me talking there as well. So I can now see the comments on YouTube, so you guys can participate too. So that's question 1. Love, what did I say? Life is glorious. Question 2, I now am living in love, light, and joy. And then question 3, all is well in my world. So if you guys want to put your answers in. So Jenny's giving me a hello, so I know that I can see comments too. Yes, finally found you guys. Cool. For those who don't know me, I'm Trudy, and I love the King Arthur story as the kind of definition of my work and also the experience that we're all going through right now. So we are all here to take this adventure of self-discovery. And as a sole purpose guide, I'm dedicated to helping creatives and sensitives and empaths, kind of individuals like you guys, I hope, that are watching, connect to a higher consciousness and divine intelligence to guide you on an adventure of self-discovery, because it's all about the journey, not the destination. So if you want to take this journey in a courageous, powerful way to find your true essence, you're in the right place. And the thing is, the more you step into your true essence, then the more you'll find the work that you're meant to be doing. So I've only seen Jenny's comment on YouTube so far, so I'm just checking to see if anybody else is commenting. Cool. So it's very heavy rain here. Hopefully you can't hear this. So what ingredients are we working with during October? So these are the energies that I'm reading effectively. So we've still got the solar flares. So these are still continuing to deliver codes of our divinity effectively, our divine attributes that are held within our DNA to be awakened. We have the ancestral DNA energy still coming through, kind of awakening our old wisdom, our ancestral ancient wisdom. But it's also worth pointing out at this point, whenever we wake up DNA, we're not just waking up the good things, we might also be awakening bad memories too. But remember, this isn't about you being beaten up by life. And this is kind of part of the balance we'll talk about in a moment. You're not being beaten up when you get the bad memories. These memories are there to remind you of what didn't work so that you can do it better this time. Okay? So we're trying to move away from this victim consciousness. So we also had the full moon in Pisces. And this is when we do kind of a life review. We see what worked, what didn't, what was successful, what was not successful, but all from the perspective of the soul. So it's interesting, when we were doing this as part of the workshop last Tuesday, people were seeing that what they thought was a success or failure was not what the soul saw it as. And this is kind of like this, isn't it what they call the butterfly effect, where you don't know where each step or each thing that you're doing is leading. You don't know that the person you spoke to today will not be the pathway, the flooding of energy that you need that will end up in the place that you need it to end up. So that's why Pisces is a great way to remember that we might have got a little bit too attached to our personality over the last year. And our human minds might have created a lot of illusions about what was real or not based on fear. And we're starting now to move back into remembering our soul as divine. So who was in the driving seat for you over the last year? Like, what was it, your soul or your personality? Which one had more control over the way your life was being guided last year? That was the question of Pisces. So let's reset the balance now. And let's just take a moment to remember that we are channels of the divine. Take a deep breath and just breathe that in. to remember that we are energy alchemists and that we can transmute opposing forces to create unity and love on the planet. And just breathe that into every cell of your being to remind you that that's who you are. The personality is just the cage that's been created, the imposter we've created due to lived experiences that we're now trying to release ourselves from. Have we got any more answers coming through on Zoom for those questions? Because we've got 2 more quantum questions coming up, and then I'll come back to all of them. So the next quantum question, number 4, is what percentage of last year was your soul in charge with? And then what percentage of last year was your personality in charge? So what I noticed for equinox, which was just this weekend, was some energy did come in, and I just remember feeling it as whenever there's a big one, and I know I've embodied it, I feel like my body does this flipping kind of feeling when you're sleeping. You just feel like it feels like being reborn. It's a really weird sensation. And I felt that it was quite related to quantum manifesting, and I'll explain what that is in a minute, but it's about how we manifest success. And part of what Pisces was trying to show us was how if we've been misinterpreting success up till now, it's going to be really hard to manifest success. And that this month, we get the opportunity to rewrite our success contracts. So a success contract are all the things that we it's something that each of us has that adds conditions or restrictions or limitations on our success. Now, you may think you don't have any, but I think we all do, and we don't notice that they're quite subtle. And the way they show up is by having to examine them in a bit more detail to find them. So again, I'll be talking about the success contract a little bit later as well. In the meantime, astrology, where we're at now astrologically, is with Pluto going back into... Oh, cool. Yeah, 23 more. We'll come back to your questions in a minute. I'm going to read those in a second. So the astrology for now is that Pluto is back in Capricorn for its farewell party. It's there saying goodbye for its end of its 20 years experience. And it's bringing that hierarchical collapse with it while it's going through that this next, I think it's 3 weeks. And then it's going to settle in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And Pluto... I work closely with Pluto. It's going to be something that's all in the background, a bit like when I work with the moon, because it highlights the shadows and the blocks. So those are the 2 main ones I work with. And Pluto, once it's finished in Capricorn and breaking down the hierarchies, will start focusing its light on the blocks that are preventing us from the heart-centered, soul-aligned utopia that we're all so desperately wanting to be surrounded and to live in this lifetime. So for those looking to achieve higher consciousness living, the hierarchical breakdown is on a personal level, because we know that it's doing this on a world stage. We've seen how governments and things are all changing right now. But on personal level, because we can only create change for us, so I bring everything back to the personal, it's about thinking about who is in charge of your life. So you've got the personality and soul we've already discussed. But if you believe that you're not in control of your life, that's a hierarchy that you've created. So are you blaming other people? Are you blaming karma, past life experiences, any old soul contracts? Do you blame being an empath, not wanting to be here on Earth as a starseed? Any of these kind of times that you let your personality fears rule and govern your life, every time you do these, you're giving your energy and your power away, and you're kind of putting yourself underneath something. It doesn't matter what the something is, but you've put it there. And you've said that this thing now has control over you. That's a personal hierarchy. And that's what we're trying to break this month. An extra level of this, if you're more spiritual, is when you are in a position of praying, pleading, feeling like you need goddesses or spirit guides to help you. That's another kind of hierarchy that we've spoken about before, but what we're trying to do is to see that you are a peer to those, you're not under them anymore. Those energies, those consciousnesses, that intelligence, you are equal. We're not here waiting to be saved. We are the saviors. So that's the kind of hierarchical collapse that we're trying to do now in this last couple of weeks of Pluto being in Capricorn. Does that make sense? And over the last sessions of this podcast, effectively, that's what we've been doing. If you think about it, when I do these, I don't know where it's going. I don't know what to expect or how these are going to turn out. I just do what I've been told, and then I make the links later. Well, if you look at it, we've been breaking down illusions of karma, personality versus soul. Even if you go back to this time last September, we did a video for Equinox that brought the personality and soul up into co-pilots of your life. So if you haven't done that, then go back and check it. It was called, let me just check, Unlock a New Soul-Led Timeline is what that one was called. So we can see that, there's quite a shift in freeing us and liberating us so that we can start having our personality and soul work in unity. But what that means is when we do the inner work of unity, we're starting to pave the way of the external work of unity on the planet as well. So I'll add a link at the end of this video to that personality and soul balancing video. So we also know that the universe will always meet you where you're at. So if you can change where you're at, doesn't matter how you change it, as long as you change, then you'll receive more. And then when you receive more, you'll be given more, which will make you grow, which means you'll achieve more. So it's a nice cyclical process, which we spoke a lot about last month. Was it last month or the month before on spiral? We talked about a spiral approach to life instead of a linear approach. And that's the new mindset that we have to really get on board with now. But, as we climb this ladder, even if it is a spiral as we go up, then we need to make sure that we take action. We need to create change in some form, whether it be a physical change of location, a mental change of beliefs, or a spiritual change in our practices. We need to make a different frequency to create the change for us to then grow. Cool. Okay, so physical symptoms. What have we all been feeling this month? So I think we're still having quite a lot of physical symptoms from these solar flares. So we've got the ear ringing, the nervous system is still a bit shaking, exhaustion. I think anger and frustration might be leading a little bit more to hopelessness right now. Stomach issues, which is really a side effect of the nervous system being wired but tired. And maybe you're waking up and not feeling safe. I've had that the last couple of mornings, like something's shifting. Maybe you feel like you've lost momentum and, you might have thought what you were doing was really important, and now you seem to have lost the drive for that somehow. Well, just know that these are not bad signs. This is all signs that you are changing. So don't resist it. Your soul knows the way. Just surrender to your soul and let that guide you. So I physically have felt like I'm in, kind of feels like I'm in a holding space. I've had that loss of momentum on what I'm doing. Not that my vision doesn't feel important anymore, but I just didn't feel the drive to progress along that path. I felt like, I wouldn't have said it felt like a resting phase as such. It just felt very inert. Like I just didn't have the drive to go forward, as opposed to I wanted to rest. And that not wanting to go forward didn't feel even like the direction was wrong. It just felt like there was a delay to it. Like I had to do something else first before I could get on that path, I guess. So this is quite an energetic translation of what I've been feeling. But I do feel like my strength and energy have been holding something up, like doing planetary work maybe when I'm sleeping and holding something up. And then it can kind of feel like, life is glorious doesn't really resonate at that point. So there might be other energetic leaders who are feeling this too. It's not a bad energy, but it's not a like keeping pushing forward energy either. Harder to connect to the positive energies, flu and cold. Yeah, loss of momentum. Yeah, so I'm getting some confirmation in through Zoom here. Yeah, it's interesting energy, and I've noticed it got worse over the weekend. It was kind of like there was an element of a movement, but then equally there's this like being stuck on hold. Like you're on a phone call being stuck on hold. I suppose that would sum it up. And it's almost like we've had to stop the physical activity so that we can do an energetic something in between. And that could just be holding space. So what I suggest we do is, for those that are energetically aware, that can be here and there, there's a concept of what I call the 5D grid, which goes all the way around the planet. And each of us has a place on that grid, which is our unique place in the tapestry of life. And I kind of feel like we're being called back to step into our position on this 5D grid at the moment and to stand there. So I don't know if this is because we're anchoring in new energy for the planet, but obviously to do that, it's not going to be a one-off meditation. I think this might be for the rest of the week while we bring that, maybe the equinox energy in. But imagine there's a grid and there's a place on the grid that is you, and then place yourself there so that you can be there and here at the same time and help anchor in the energies that are coming in now. And for those that can't do that, all you have to do is focus on loving life and connecting to that higher octaves of love energy, because that will help support those that are doing the work on the grids. So I know some of you in the Zoom group can do that. So you might want to imagine splitting yourself and getting yourself onto the grid and helping bringing in the equinox energies right now. Okay, we all got that? Excellent. Everybody's saying yes, doing that on that side. So yeah, so putting ourselves on the grid is something that more of a quantum manifestor you become, the easier it is to do that kind of work. So today we're going to be covering the importance of doing the shadow work so we can align with the second ray of power and start becoming quantum manifestors, or quantum success manifestors in particular. So replay this video all month to help integrate this energy. So I think we're ready now to see the answers to our questions. So the theme for this month, or the theme for last month, was falling in love with life again. This month, we're tuning into life is glorious. So you might want to replay last month's energy to build your energy up, ready to do the life is glorious this month. So I gave you some energy exercises last month. So let's see what your numbers are. So number 1 was life is glorious, 1 to 100. What have you guys got? Jenny's got 100. Yay. 50%. Any other answers on there? So life is glorious, 1 to 100. Oh, yeah. So before I finish with those questions, I was hoping Judy was going to be here because I was going to ask if she's been feeling it. Yeah, I think it's been going on longer than I've realized. It's been feeling quite stopped. So Judy is saying that for nearly 3 weeks, she's been feeling this, and she called it like a hijacked. So I felt it like being held, which I guess is the same as a hijack. So yeah, that kind of adds another layer to it, like being stuck and held and not being able to move forward, but hijacked. Interesting. Cool. Well, whatever we've been doing, thank you to all the big energy hitters that have been holding space on the grid for these last few weeks for whatever's been going on. That's cool. So 100% life is glorious. Cool. Second one was, I now live in limitless love, light, and joy, 1 to 100. What number are you guys getting for that? So number 2 was 86 for Jenny. Yeah, I got Jenny's answer. I think the next answer I'm reading here is to the personality ones, so I'll come back to those in a moment. And then all is well in my world, 1 to 100. So when we're going straight to the numbers in our head, we're really talking to our soul. So you might not believe these, you might think, really? But it's the soul that's trying to get us to believe it. So if it's lower, then it's because we're not listening to our soul. So 74 from Judy, cool. And then, of course, the other questions were to do with what has been mostly in charge of your life over the last year. And we asked how much of it was personality and how much of it was soul. So here we've got 25% soul. So there's some work we can do there. So I think 4 was what percentage was your soul in charge, and 5 was what percentage is your personality in charge. 99%, yes. That's the soul. Oh, no, I think that's the all is well in my life. Cool. 7263. Soul 91. Cool. But, some of the people on Zoom have been working with me over the last 12 months, balancing their soul and personality anyway. So I'd like to see that those numbers are a bit higher. But whenever these numbers dip and come back up again, it's not like you're going backwards. It's just you're learning another layer because that's part of the spiral. So how much was your soul in charge, 1 to 100, and how much was your personality in charge? So keep these numbers in your journal because they're good for you to know that, what you're aiming for. And you can use these to judge if your practices, your thoughts, your behaviors are improving these numbers or making them worse. Now, 50-50 is actually right. When it comes to personality and soul, we want 50-50. 50% soul means that you're following your soul guidance, and 50% personality is meaning that your personality is working, for your soul. That's what you want. You want an equal balance in them both because your personality is the tenacious part of you that gets things done. So it does, we need a personality, we need some ego for us to be able to get things done. So I think 50-50 is what we're aiming for. That was what I was getting anyway when I was tuning into it, because you'd expect it to be higher and less, but no, I think 50-50 is a good number. That's what I was going to say. So I think if Judy says 50-50, then I think that's definitely the perfect one to have. Cool. What about question 3? That was all is well in my world, wasn't it? Yeah, Jenny, you got that? Cool. Okay, so I think I'm being dripped on. So in order for us to say life is glorious, we have to start cultivating that frequency and see it as paving a pathway so that by the end of the month, we can really get that as our new truth. So that's the theme of this month. So the preparation that we've had is being unbound from all old soul stories. So I mentioned, that we've been guided over the last 12 months of podcasts to break down any narratives that were not of our highest good, that we've been breaking down the end of karma and the karmic technology is no longer needed, removing old timelines, removing being captured by the past, any imposter contracts, playing small, any limited concepts of time, any tyranny of the personality, ancestral contacts, limitations of our fears from even when we have memories of ancient civilizations falling and collapsing, old vows of chastity, poverty, and silence. And we've been working towards liberating from all of those. So we can just tune in now and repeat after me. I call on all the old stories, vows, and contracts and patterns that are no longer aligned with who I came here to be. And just imagine this big pile of contracts in either paper form or books appearing in front of you. And to become unbound from these contracts, all you have to do is see yourself adding an end date to all these contracts. And we'll go with the 1st of the 9th, 24. That's the date I've been using in my workshop. So let's do the 1st of the 9th, 24. To see yourself writing on all of the contracts immediately, 1st of the 9th, 24, end date. Keep taking those deep breaths. Just feel that relax into your body. All done? Yeah, give me a thumbs up on the Zoom if you've done that. Now, the outlook for the end of the month, I'm afraid I'm going to be a little bit vague with you guys because I really don't know what it means. So unless somebody else can recognize this, all I got was the outcome is going to be all stones and crystals related to the moons. That was the only clue I got. So I'm kind of trying to dig into that. The most I've got so far is hope, new beginnings, and cyclic change. And I guess, the moon has a feminine aspect to it, but I'm going to have to keep you updated on what that means. Maybe it won't be till the end of the month when we know what that means, when we start sensing that or noticing what skills it brings. So this is quite exciting in a way that we don't know what the work we're doing this month is going to turn into. I know that the moon is important in my work because we're all being tricked into thinking we're not enough, which I represent as the moon, because the moon shines everybody else's light. And we're trying to become self-generating suns to actually recognize that we are the power that we're seeking, and that the moon is the kind of imposter program that we spoke about last month, removing. So if we're going to step into self-generating powerful sources of light, I'm not quite sure why all the stones of the moon is the outcome to expect this month. So I'm still tuning into that one. I haven't had a full answer, but maybe it's because the answer isn't fully formed yet. Maybe we have to anchor in the energy into the 5D grid before we'll see that answer. Now, this one I thought was like, there's been some really practical kind of information coming through the last few months. The challenge this month is my income is constantly increasing. Now, I think this is a great sign that maybe we're at the last stand battle of the cost of living narrative. And we're kind of being asked that, can you begin now, today, to open yourself to ever increasing prosperity? So, we've got to ask, what is prosperity? Is it abundance, income, energy, love, time? But as we need money, we need to put money in there because we do need money to live on this planet at the moment. So just what would that be like for you? This opening yourself to increasing income. And pull a card that will represent or help you identify your unique perspective on that issue and your challenge this month. Interesting. Something about stones and pebbles for my workshop too. Oh, excellent. Yeah, maybe they're related. We'll have to see. So pull a card and see what it tells you as your kind of unique perspective on that. I'm here to have increasing income, constantly increasing income. Now, the strength that we have to help make that a truth for us is that of success. It's back to the success contracts. So last month we spoke about the imposter syndrome. Don't fit. So one of the girls keeps getting the card, don't dim to fit in, which is really what this whole journey is about. Don't dim to fit in. So if you can find another card to give you something more specific than that, to show you how not to dim to fit in. Another deck, maybe. So last month, we spoke about the imposter syndrome. We spoke about it as not as something you are when you're trying to be bigger than you, but something you are now. You are the imposter blocking the real you from coming out, like little Russian dolls. And once I name these things, and once you hear me name them from one of these videos, it already starts to break that hold on you. It might be slower than when we're doing it more consciously in workshops, but it does start the process of release. So allowing for that as part of the foundation, we're now getting to a point where we're moving out of playing small into being who we're meant to be. But we also now have to rewrite the success contract that I mentioned earlier, which is your personal narrative about your experience of success or what you expect success to be. So if this is calling to you as a concept, if you want to work more on your success intelligence, there is a book called Success Intelligence by Robert Holden. He wrote a whole book on this, and I remember reading this back in 2007, and it was a great way to quantify, like I said, name and expand on the concept of success. So this is all about your personal rules regarding success that are actually sabotaging your success right now. We are told that this month is a strength because we're able now to find them and eliminate them. So an example of this, if you think that money can't come easily, and then you're presented with an opportunity that maybe you can make money easily, you might find that you may miss the opportunity or you may mess up the opportunity because it's a breach of your contract. So the breach being you've promised yourself you can't make money easily. You then get an opportunity that is the opposite to that. That's a breach of your contract. Therefore, it can't be your truth. Does that make sense? Because the universe always gives you what you ask for. And if your contract says that you can't make money easily, then that's what it's going to try and prove for you. So this month, we're going to spend the whole month trying to work out what beliefs, habits, behaviors are blocking our success and rewrite them. That's the step or the healing that we need to get through to get that my income is constantly increasing. So if you tune in and imagine the perfect day, everything's going good, you've got a wonderful relationship, money comes easy, you enjoy your work, you get to do beautiful things, creative things, your communications are all honest, heart-centered. Does that feel too fantastical or normal? And if it feels fantastical, then we've got some sabotage going on. So I'll let you replay this to get these questions, but the questions you want to be asking this month are, what are the limits you place on your success? What are the conditions of your success? What you do to deserve success? And this kind of fits in with a Capricorn. You're either going to be a mountain goat struggling proudly or a unicorn accepting the flow and making things easy. I think I might have jumped there. My internet's playing up with a storm. So you're either going to be a mountain goat struggling proudly or a unicorn flowing easily. That's the Capricorn lesson that we were learning a couple of months ago. And then how much success do you think you deserve? So those are the questions that you can focus on, and you can come back and replay this and get those so that you can start aligning with my income is constantly increasing. So that's the strength to help that become your truth. But right now, what we're going to do is imagine that success contract, your existing success contract in front of you. And we're going to write that end date, 1st of the 9th, 24, to say that it's now null and void after that date so that you can spend this month writing a new one. Something high vibrational, big, go big. Something we need to be aware of when we're writing these success contracts is the selfish success is no longer going to be supported. It needs to be something in alignment with your soul's great vision, your kingdom's work, or even what we've been talking about over the last 3 months, your rare success, which somebody actually said to me, why are you saying rare success all the time? And I said, I don't know, that's the words they keep wanting me to say. And then this month we're talking about a success contract, which I think is kind of a bit serendipitous how they've come together. So when we're writing the success contract, I want you to think of harmless manifesting. And we've spoken about this before, if you're going to say an appointment and you need a parking space, you wanting to manifest a parking space for you is great. But if you don't get it, you have to allow for the fact that maybe somebody was more critical that needed it and they got it instead. So it's not that it's not working. We're just aiming more for harmless manifesting instead. So all the cards that are on Zoom are saying that my cards are exactly what you're talking about. Shows you're in alignment, you're ready to go. So we're going to write that date on your success contract. Make sure it's the 1st of the 9th, 24 as the end of the old success contract, null and void. And you can now repeat after me. I begin now to open myself to ever increasing prosperity, abundance, income, love, support, money, time, energy, and success. Take a deep breath and let that energy go right down into your cells. So we're almost there. We got the advice and the next steps next. So the advice is to unleash your authentic creative flow. Whatever works for you, loosen up physically and mentally, really break those chains of how you think things should be done. The stranger, the better. Because if it's strange, then you must be stepping out of conformity. Otherwise, it would be normal. Yeah, that's why we want strange. And I think I've had this message before, at least this card has come up before. I use cards for my readings. And for me, what it means is we've got to move out of the bondage of mind intelligence and connect to other intelligence like elementals, heart, body, higher consciousness. And this particular card is a dragon that represents ADHD and autism, which we know are conditions where people are dialed into different dimensions. So I think this is what it's kind of saying is we've really got to dial ourselves into a bigger pool of information that we've been working with up till now. And the next steps, which is probably leading us into where we're going next month, is we're getting ready to become quantum manifestors. So this is the second ray of power. We're working with the second ray of power. In June, we were working with the first ray of power, which was conscious destruction. That was there to eliminate the past, to prepare for new beginnings. This is where we knew how to destroy and make space for what we wanted. This is where we were told to let go of our plans and to see what comes instead. So rather than thinking, my plan is this, I must do this, I must do that, it said, wipe the slate clean and just allow your soul to perhaps give you some new insights so you can see where you're meant to be going. Because this is when we were talking about birthing your rare success. Something that you have been preparing for a lifetime under the surface of your life, but it's not what you're expecting. So you have to clear that plan off the table for you to see what this could be. And we spoke about taking your hands off the wheel, detaching, becoming curious, and then being open to your soul guiding you to something more beautiful than you can ever imagine. So that was in June. Now we've moved on from that destruction into the second ray of power, which is quantum manifesting. This is where we connect to our multi-dimensional soul wisdom, that ancient soul wisdom that's much, much bigger than our minds can fathom. And to understand that once we're in alignment with this, we become naturally magnetic. So this is why I was saying when you come to do your success contracts, it's not about you manifesting money or the house or the boyfriend. You need to look at manifesting your kingdom's work, your soul's great vision, what you're here to do. And that can be anything from just being a beacon of love to bringing up your children a certain way or introducing one small change into corporate. It doesn't have to be huge, but whatever that rare success is, if that's your focus that you want to manifest, then everything that you need around it will come to you. So rather than focusing on the things, focus on your mission and the things around you are going to come to you. So based on that, if you align with your soul's great vision, you will become so magnetic that you will get lots of stuff attracting to you. And the problem is that this comes with a warning that you mustn't take everything. So think of it as everything is laid out for you to pick, but you're going to be from a unity consciousness and resource sharing perspective, you're only going to pick the bits that you want. Now, that's a completely different way to think about manifesting. We've been doing it wrong up till now, really. It's a much more selfless way. Harmless manifesting is one of the terms I've heard calling this. And instead, we're not operating from personal safety, poverty, scarcity, or being a victim. We're now instead starting to be empowered to say, do you know what? I know I can get what I want when I need it. So I don't have to overtake. I can just take the bits I need this month because I know next month is going to come again. Now, that's quite scary. In the world that we've been in with the cost of living crisis and everything else, that's quite a scary way to think about life. And what instantly jumped into my mind was being like, imagine you didn't have a bank account and that you were given exactly the amount of money you needed each month to live. And that's scary. It's a bit like going back to having pocket money from your parents, you know? But that's the kind of energy that it wants us to be able to embrace. So our hearts were kind of opened a lot in January, preparing us for this new way of communicating with our soul. And our body testing was all upgraded too. And there was quite a lot of shifts in the answers that we used to get and the answers we were getting. And this is all leading to this kind of quantum manifesting concept. So that is the lesson and the warning of the second ray of power, this quantum manifesting. So what does that make you feel like, you know, going back to that kind of being given pocket money each week to pay for everything you want. Yeah, only taking what you need. Well, that just shows how much we've been trained into poverty and scarcity consciousness, doesn't it? Only taking what you need when you need it, just in time abundance. We're not programmed like that. Everything is about accumulation on this planet. I know my brain kind of flipped over and recalibrated when I started thinking of that. So I think that's some of the energy we've got to start co-creating right now to see what possibilities that might bring. And that could be the future of money, you know, that could be the start that starts changing the way we all show up with money this in the future. So your mantra this month is, it is safe for me to be successful, to make changes even if I upset the apple cart, and still live in unlimited love, light, and joy. Because sometimes we think if we're upsetting the apple cart or causing upset or change, that we're going to be kind of faced with discomfort. But I want you to put those two together now and say, actually, I can live in love, light, and joy and do this, and life will be fine. The soul will guide me. I know where I'm going. How does that sound? Excellent. So that's the end of the reading. So we're coming to the kind of end of a 12-month cycle of a soul journey that I do in my membership. So next we're going to be working on Aries. And Aries is where we kind of, after doing the life review of Pisces, we regenerate, we kind of rebuild ourselves into the version we want to be for the next year of higher dimensional living. So if you want to join me for that, then do message me and let me know. And it's White Star Soul Guidance. It's a 2-hour workshop once a month in my membership with replays, workbooks, energy recalibration, soul alignment, and consciousness expansion. So if any of that sounds interesting, then let me know. However, it is intensive work. You know, I'm laying down everything you need to do it, but you have to open those doors again. So it is something you've got all month to do, and you've got access to support and videos to help you do that. But if you do feel like you want a more handheld approach, I do a 6-month program where I'm with you every month and we go through all of the recalibrations you need. So that's a more one-to-one, and it's intensive, but I'm kind of with you most of the month helping you through it. So if you feel called to that, then let me know as well. And if you really just want to get to know me first, then obviously you can come and join us on the Mondays after these lives where we go into Zoom and chat a bit more. So the whole point is to get you to see more of your light and follow more of your soul. So you can always set up a consultation with me as well to see what your desires and your insights are. There's a link on my website to link you through to setting up a Calendly date. Otherwise, I'm going to see you all next month, 21st of October. But please do hit like and share. And if you enjoyed it, put some comments on, because the algorithms and social media are a nightmare right now. And I do feel like, you know, they really don't want me to get this information out, because I am trying to create sovereignty and empowerment for individuals. And this is why I call it the Quantum Human, because I know that once you guys adopt the things I speak about each month, they can't stop us. There's nothing for the darkness to attach to. We work hand in hand with the darkness, just like the soul and personality, blending our powers together, transmuting, transforming, and helping the planet and each other. So I just would love, you know, I know what I'm sharing might seem common sense, but it really is quite an energetic shift. So please do share and hit the bell to be notified, and put some comments so that I can get some progress on my YouTube channel. And always leave comments, you know, if you replay these and watch them again, leave some comments, because I will hear them. It might take a day or so, but I do then come back and answer. So I'm going to go and join those on Zoom with me now. Thank you for being with me tonight. And I hope that these energy exercises and these questions help you remember more of who you are, and at least give you some clues of what you have to do that this month. So I'll see you all next month. And remember, the universe will meet you where you are at. If you're not where you want to be, you're going to have to create change. And when you do create that change, you'll be able to receive more of the success that you deserve. So start making the changes on your success contract and start co-creating the frequency of life is glorious. Until next time, bye guys.